more time. I really wanna cross the line. I do it all before I die. I wanna get it on tonight. I wanna get you one more time. I really wanna cross the line. I wanna get you one more time, one more time, one more time, one more time. I want it one more time. I really need to make it right. Energy I overdose, 'cause I'm ready to reload. I need it one more time, but baby then again twice. But I don't know if I'm ready to let go. I'm gonna have you one more time. I'm gonna hit it one more night with you, with you. I am committed 'cause I know it's you I want. Hope I never see you go home. Oh, come along. I'm gonna have you one more time. I'm gonna have you one more night. I wanna get you one more time. I really wanna cross the line. I do it all before I die. I wanna get it on tonight. I wanna get you one more time. I really wanna cross the line. I wanna get you one more time, one more time, one more time, one more time. Ooh, this time I wanna take it slow. I don't need my phone. I know how to picture in my mind the nights with you. I'm ready to enjoy the ride. I don't wanna die, but I could die in your arms, 'cause I don't need to live forever. I don't need to live forever. 'Cause I don't. I wanna get you one more time. I really wanna cross the line. I do it all before I die. I wanna get it on tonight. I wanna get you one more time. I really wanna cross the line. I wanna get you one more time, one more time, one more time, one more time.
Cut the music. Cut the music. Cut it. Amazingly, overly whelmingly descended upon by LSU fans because of my comments about Bo Pelini. How I don't know the guy, how I don't know what I'm talking about, how the thing makes me look bad, makes me look ignorant. I'm fisting to drop some knowledge on you guys. I appreciate your intensity, but I got something for you. See, I lived there and I watched the fans. I watched how they responded to the games. And don't sit there and tell me about how he was number one, number two, number three, and whatever else he was, and then turn around and say, oh, well, you can't say that his record at this was so bad because he was a head coach. Listen, when you're the head coach, you're responsible for the whole program. You're not responsible for just special teams. You're not responsible for just this. You're not responsible for just that. You're responsible for the whole thing. And as a defensive-minded, elite defensive-minded coach, you ought to be able to handle your defense. If not, fire your defensive coordinator after 6 or 7 seasons because he can't get it done, and get the job done by somebody who can. It's simple as that. You can't have it both ways. You cannot have it both ways. It doesn't work that way. I don't care what he did back in 2007. College football is not the same as it was back in 2007. It's not. What's going on, guy? Killer Mom. What's up, Dwayne RTR, Tiger Raven, Michael Porter, Bartholomew, Bobby, Yao, Not Just Rocks. What's going on, guys? There's going to be a lot of people that see this video after we jump off the live stream. I decided to do this on my lunch break because I thought it was important. So a lot of people, they go back and they look at the highlights of what he did at some point in the past. Well, you got to look at the whole body of work. There's just more there than just one little thing. So let me break it down to you like this. All right. So if you look at Bo Pelini's coaching record, right? So yeah, he did win some national championships as a defensive coordinator back in LSU, back in forever ago. And my favorite thing that people like, the favorite thing that people are showing up in the comment section saying right now is that, UGA hasn't won a national title since 1980. That has absolutely nothing to do with Bo Pelini or LSU. You guys think I'm trashing LSU. I'm not. I'm telling you up front, in person, you guys need better than that guy. You just won the national championship, and that's the best you can do? I don't buy it. I don't like it, and I don't agree with it. I think the program can do much, much better. Now, what I'm going to point out to you guys is that in 2000, let's go back to 2008, right? So in 2008, let me move this over here in 1 second so I can actually see. In 2008, Nebraska went 9-4 under him. He was 5-3 in conference. The next year he was 6-2 in their conference. The next year 6-2 in conference. Next year 5-3 in conference. He had one good year where he went 7-1 in conference. The next year was 5-3 in conference. The next year after that was 5-3 in conference. That's not a good coach. If you go 5-3 consistently year after year after year in the SEC, you're going to get fired. Simple as that. And as a national championship contender, there's no way you should accept that kind of mediocrity. I mean, for goodness sake, he was at Youngstown State, and he went 3-5 last year. Then he went 6-2, then he went 4-4, then 3-5, and then last year 2-6. So please tell me how this is a defensive, elite-minded coach when he can't go but 6-6 at Youngstown. The year before that, he was 4-7. He's had one season where he's had more than 6 wins since 2014. And that was in 2016. And then he lost the FCS championship. The FCS championship, he lost it. So now, if that was the only problem that we had with the guy, fine. So be it. I don't have a problem with it. But I'm going to tell you like this. Was he a head coach or a defensive coach during those years? It doesn't matter. Either one is bad. If you're a defensive coach and you're applying for the defensive job, you're not putting a very good resume on the field. Number two, if you're the head coach and you're allowing your defense to be run this way, you have no business as a defensive coordinator. So that doesn't make any sense. It just don't. So he may be a better defensive coordinator than head coach, but the track record so far is terrible. It's terrible. At Youngstown State, 33-28. 33-28. No. So here's the thing. I can't believe LSU is defending this guy. What's going on, Sergeant AR? I can't believe they're defending this guy. They're saying I'm jealous. I don't want this guy. Trust me, I don't want this guy. What's going on, Jermaine? If this guy was coming to Georgia, I would lose my mind. And Georgia is not on the same level as LSU was last year, clearly. I would lose my mind. Not because I dislike Bo Pelini, because he beat Georgia one time in the past 25 years. Georgia also beat him one time in the past 25 years. That has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that an SEC program, this guy can't hardly win games at Youngstown State. No, we're talking about Bo Pelini. We're not talking about anybody at UGA right now. I'm saying if they were trying to hire this guy at UGA, I would lose my mind. I would be furious. I'd be calling the coach's office as we speak. I really would. Now, if you want to say, hey, he maybe he's a better defensive coordinator than offensive coordinator, we're going to get him turned around. He needs to be in the right scheme, the right program. Okay, fine. But that ain't the only problem we have. Go back and look at what Bo Pelini said about his fans in 2013. He didn't know he was on. He didn't know that he was being recorded, and I don't care that he didn't know he was being recorded. You don't ever say this about your fans. This was his exact words, and I'm going to bleep out the F words. But our crowd, what a bunch of effing fair-weathered blankety blank. They can all kiss my out the effing door, because the day is effing coming now. We'll see what they do when I'm effing gone. That's what he said about his fans. Well, then he got hammered, and so he apologized for it, right? But it wasn't long after that, the very next year, this is what he said about the athletic director. The guy, you guys saw him on Sunday, the guy's a total P word. I mean, he's a total C word. That's what he said about his athletic director. He was argumentative and abrasive, like overly abrasive to the referees. The guy has no control. He got an unsportsmanlike conduct for referring to his personal foul as chicken sh, and declaring that if they want to fire me, go ahead. I don't apologize for anything I've done. That's after he got in trouble the first time. So you're gonna sit there and say, well, this guy coming out of a losing record, can't seem to win games in the FCF, and now he's gonna go? No. There is so much more to Bo Pelini than what these guys realize. Please understand that even when he was winning, he had winning records, 9 games every year, because that's what you want to hear all the fans of Bo Pelini say, not just LSU fans, but fans of Bo Pelini say. Here's what Nebraska fans thought of him. Nebraska's Bo Pelini buyout totaled $6.54 million. That's how bad they wanted to get rid of a winning coach. A winning coach, as they say. So if you're going to jump on here and act like I don't know what I'm talking about, guys, I promise you I know I know what's going on with this guy. This guy is not what needs to be at LSU. Here's the thing, LSU fans, please understand this. Explain this to me. Why is it that I care more about your defensive coordinator and what he should be than you guys do? Peep that. Yes, Bruce, I think I did, sir. Are you talking about an email? Because I may not have seen it yet. Listen, this guy is a problem. This guy is a cancer. He is abusive to, I won't say physically abusive, but he is verbally abusive way beyond what a coach should be. I've coached football. I know plenty of people that's played football on both the high school and the collegiate level. And I know what a coach normally says. That's not the way this guy is. He's over the top. He's screaming in people's faces. I'm telling you guys, this is not a good hire for LSU. If you want to stand up and defend this guy, so be it. But I'm telling you right now, the guy is a problem. The players didn't like him. The fans didn't like him. The staff didn't like him. Nobody liked him, to the point that they were willing to pay $6.5 million to be rid of him. I'm over here trying to help you guys at LSU, and y'all think I'm trash talking LSU, dude. The athletic director, this is what he said after the second leak came out. If these comments were indeed spoken by Mr. Pelini, which they were, we are extremely disappointed, but it only reaffirms the decision that we should no longer be the leader of young men at Nebraska. His habitual use of inappropriate language and personal attacks and professional attacks on administrators are antithetical to the views of our university. His behavior is consistent with a pattern of unprofessional, disrespectful behavior directed by Mr. Pelini towards the passionate fans of Nebraska, employees of the university, and most concerning, our student athletes. This behavior is not tolerated at the University of Nebraska, and among other concerns, played a role in his dismissal. Youngstown State, who had already hired Pelini, said, this is what they said, they didn't even deny it. His remarks are reported are inappropriate and unfortunate. We discussed this with the coach and are confident that he will conduct himself appropriately moving forward. Of course, that's what they're going to say. They wanted a coach that could win. Nobody knows or cares about who Youngstown State Penguins are. Get out of here, man. This guy has no. Hey, what's going on, Jude Rand? This guy has no business. This guy has no business around young men. This is not the kind of leadership they need, and you're going to put him in a defensive coordinator position. He does not need to be there, and so much to the point that even with a winning record, they fired him and paid him $6.5 million. But tell me how good he is. Please do that. Please tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about some more. I understand that referees are going to get some language from coaches, but it's extremely rare for you to see a good head coach walk down the sideline and scream. I'm not saying yell at or fuss or complain about a call, but I'm saying get almost nose to nose and tell them that it was a chicken stuff call, and you can fill in the appropriate words, and say, that's appropriate language for a head coach and a leader of our team, whether it's on the defense, whether it's on the offense, whether it's a head coach at any position on a coaching staff at a university, that you're coaching these young men up on how to behave. You're going to say that that's the appropriate behavior? This guy is all this guy cares about is himself. I'm not a Nebraska fan. I have no reason to hate this guy. Well, he's played Georgia one time and twice. He's played Georgia twice. We beat him one time and they beat us the next. Even if he was a coach or wasn't a coach, I can't even remember. It's that unimportant to me. And for all those that's going to jump out there and say, "Hey, that you salty because we ain't won a national championship since 1980," I don't care. I really don't. If the only thing that made me a fan was that Georgia won a national championship every other year, then 98% of the fan base would not exist. What's the difference between 1980 and 2000? 20 years? Doesn't matter. Coach O obviously has to have his reasons. I'm not saying he don't. What I'm saying is that the pattern of behavior that I have seen was terrible. And is terrible. I'm looking at his record. I don't think it's what LSU deserves or needs. I feel like they could have made a better hire somewhere else. I just do. So that's that. So I thought it was absolutely hilarious how many LSU fans were jumping on there getting all salty about me calling this guy out. This guy from what I've seen is a piece of trash. I wouldn't want my son coached by him. I wouldn't want my nieces or nephews or anybody coached by him. Volleyball, baseball, softball, lawn darts, I don't care. I would not have this guy coach my kids, period. He's just not a good coach. Did he have the same problems at Youngstown State? I don't know. I know his record's terrible, but what I would say is that at Youngstown State, they probably had some kind of agreement drawn up before he ever started, saying that they couldn't release any information about him and that. He probably learned his lesson and had that put in a contract. They couldn't release any information about his behavior. He thought Saban lost it when he hired Lane Kiffin. A lot of people did, but Lane Kiffin, is different. So I'm saying I'm on the fence. Listen, if the guy can turn it around, if the guy, I'm all about second chances. If the guy can turn it around and be a real leader and be a real coach and help these kids develop themselves into being better people and leading through example. I don't know how many times I've heard great leaders say that they lead through example. I just do. I don't know that Bo Pelini is able to do that. I think he may be too old to be able to make that change. I'm not saying that you can't change if you're older. I'm just saying it's a lot less likely to change when you're in your 40s and 50s than it is for you to change when you're in your early 20s. So for all the people that's out there defending this guy that say I don't know anything about him, what else do I need to know? Hold my beer. Are you trolling? Hold my beer. I think you're trolling me. He's trolling. What's going on, Eric? Yeah. They say the truth hurts. Tell it like it is. ATD, go dog, sick 'em. Listen, if you would put your kid in that locker room, you let me know. There were players that wanted to transfer away from that school. With this guy at Nebraska, with this guy getting hired, you would hear it from the fans all the time. Somebody in the last comment section on the last video was talking about how I seem to have lived everywhere that Bo Pelini's coached. No. I've lived in Nebraska. I don't even know where Youngstown is. It's in Missouri. I haven't lived in Missouri. I'm sure he's coached somewhere else. Yeah. But here's the thing. So if you go to Bo Pelini's Wikipedia page and you start pulling it up, he was raised in Youngstown, Ohio, right? Then he was a former running back. He was nicknamed Bo after the former Cleveland Browns running back Bo Scott. He's kind of been all over. He got his first position in the NFL league. He was hired by the San Francisco 49ers by head coach George Seifert as a scouting assistant. Then a few years later, he flipped over to the New England Patriots. A few years later, Green Bay Packers. And then he went to the Nebraska Cornhuskers in 2003. And he's been in college football ever since. So, to me, the guy is not had an amazing record. He's not what LSU needs. LSU needs better. I understand that there are people out there that think this guy is going to be the secret of them or whatever. But man, the guy is just unless something crazy has changed, he's just not. I think LSU deserves a better coach. I think they deserve a classier coach. I think that they deserve somebody who's got a much better record. I think there are those coaches are out there that deserve that job better or more than Bo Pelini does. Dwayne RTR says, hit the thumbs up, guys. I really appreciate it. Shouldn't I be happy, though, being a Georgia fan? We don't really play them that often, man. I mean, if we play whoever we play in the SEC championship is going to be a good team. So it doesn't matter to me whether it's Alabama or whether it's Auburn or whether it's LSU or Texas A&M or whoever it is. I mean, we have a cross-division rivalry with Auburn, and then we rotate through the other ones. But on odds, I mean, we might play LSU once every, 5 or 6 years, 7, 8 years, something like that, depending on if they get into the national championship and we do it at the same time. The guy may have been a good defensive coach before, but Kirby Smart has just as many defensive coaching rings. Our defense was phenomenal. His defenses when he was a head coach was not. College football has clearly evolved so that the old style of just play defense and win games doesn't work. Nobody has hung 65 points or 70 points on Kirby Smart since he's been at Georgia, but they have done that to Bo Pelini in the same year, 2 different teams. So don't sit there and talk about how great this guy is. My argument is that there are better coaches out there than Bo Pelini for LSU. For those of you that's been on my channel for any length of time, you know that I'm a Georgia fan first. SEC dog. Never knew you was a Bo Pelini fan. So he said, we smashed y'all every time we played y'all, bro. Sit down. What are you talking about, hold my beer? This guy's trying so hard to troll me. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. 1980, never forget. Do you think that has any basis whatsoever on the current conversation? You might as well say, Georgia hasn't won a national championship since 1980. That means the 49ers are going to beat the Chiefs. It's completely irrelevant to the argument, sir. Yeah, LSU beat the hell out of everybody. What's your point? Did you not hear me pick LSU to beat Clemson? Did you miss that video? Because go back and watch it because it's there. In case you don't know, in case you haven't noticed, I root for every SEC team in the bowl games except for Auburn. I will not pull for Auburn. Sergeant AR is calling him out. He's like, we'll win another one before Georgia does. That's a possibility. Anybody could win it. But here's the facts. You don't have Joe Burrow anymore. You got a brand new offensive coordinator. You got a defensive coordinator who I don't think is clearly good enough or nearly good enough to win a national championship. Is there talent on the field? Absolutely. But if there's one thing I can promise you, if you look at the amount of talent on the field, Georgia has more talent on the field than LSU does. But that doesn't mean that's going to guarantee you a national championship. Go back and look at the recruiting classes if you don't believe me. Defensive coordinator, whatever, whoever it was. What was his name? Joe Brady? Yeah, he's gone. He was pretty much you guys' is Swift and Fromm leaving? They're already gone, sir. LSU was just the best team. Congrats to LSU fans coming from a Clemson fan. Can't pull for the barn, but I'm an SEC homer. I'm right there with you, Dwayne. But what the reason I wanted to do this, the reason I wanted to do the live show, just kind of here over lunch, was because there are so many people. Where's my phone at? Hold on. I'm probably still getting messages. Yeah, here's a message I just got 36 minutes ago. Man, you are embarrassing the East. Please don't talk. This guy, I guess, used his phone number as his name. So this video, let me go to my feed just so I can give you guys the information. This video has 1,200 views in less than 24 hours. It's got 147 comments, and it's got 41 thumbs up and 57 thumbs down. It's the first video I've ever had that has more thumbs down than thumbs up. And it is a direct, it is directly because LSU fans don't know everything about Bo Pelini. But yet they want to sit there and say, I don't know the guy. Listen, go pull it up. The Wikipedia there, it's on SB Nation. It's on dataomaha.com, which is the documents where Bo Pelini was bought out. Go to his Wikipedia page. You can find the first leak audio tape on YouTube. You can find the second leak audio tape on YouTube. You can pull up all the records on ESPN. None of this stuff is you can even contest it. There's nothing you can say about it. Let's see. Venture Writer said Auburn might be on the come up. Bo Nix is only going to get better. That's a possibility. So who's the new quarterback at LSU? Who's the new quarterback at LSU? Mr. Beer. Bo will have a top 10 defense. He's got the talent on the field, and if he just runs a playbook from last year, it's possible to have a top 10 defense. There's no doubt about that. Myles Brennan. Right. This clown is a Coach fan, not an LSU fan. That is correct. Red Shirt Junior. Red Shirt Junior. Don't beat up on him too bad, man. He's just in here speaking his mind. I just want to make sure that I get my point thoroughly across. When I saw that LSU hired Bo Pelini, I like to have fell out of my chair. I was at work. I went outside, sat in my truck, and just that was my reaction. That was my reaction. I know for a fact he is a bad coach. He's a bad coach. I mean, both statistically, morally, he is a bad coach. Whether he's an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, you cannot make me believe that if you go 33-28 at Youngstown State, Missouri Valley Football Conference, your last season finished, I believe, dead last. Tied for 6th in 2015. They came in 3rd in his best season. The next season, they came in next to last. Season after that, they came in tied for 6th. And the season after that, they came in dead last. But this is a great coach? This is a great coach. No, not even close, guys. Now I'm getting repetitive. He led them to one championship game, and they still lost in the FCS, or the Missouri Valley Sugar Grape Bowl, or whatever it was. Newmans and Pickens will destroy defenses. I do believe that is going to be interesting to see what they do with them. So all of last year, Myles Brennan, just to give you guys a rundown on who this guy is, he's a decent quarterback. Is he amazing? No. Is he decent? Yes. He has thrown for 353 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception in all of 2019. In 2018, he had 4 completions on 6 attempts. His most action he saw was last year, where he had 40 attempts. The year before that, he had 24 attempts. His entire game tape from his 17, 18, and 19 season combined is only 70 attempts total. 70 attempts total. This guy might as well be a true freshman. He was Mr. Mississippi. Well, I didn't know they had beauty contestants for Mississippi, but that's interesting. Georgia's loaded. Georgia's defense is going to be awesome, which ain't nothing really that new. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now that if LSU doesn't find a way to fix Bo Pelini, that program is going to take a step back, and those fans are going to be furious. If you're an LSU fan and you're mad at me because I'm trying to warn you up front, this guy's going to be a problem for you, then be mad. I can't help you with that. But sit down and do a little bit more homework than just what you've seen on the surface of folks bragging on his stats from the past, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's absolutely unacceptable, that guy. Anyway. Feel free to laugh, man. Feel free to laugh. It doesn't bother me a bit. The only thing that I do is whenever I have if somebody starts the whole insult thing and calling people stupid and stuff like this, that's whenever me and you gonna have an issue. I don't really tolerate that kind of stuff on the channel. There's other people that come here we could have a civil conversation about it. But I mean, you can be as mad about the guy or as happy about the guy as you want to be, but the moment you start insulting all kind of other people on the channel, then stuff's got to go. No, you're not being disrespectful at all, Hold. I'm fine with everything you said, man. But there have been people in the comment section that, they're not subscribed to the channel, and they just, they start jumping in there and being rude and disrespectful, and you start calling people a bunch of names and whatnot, then I'm going to block you from the channel. I don't want that nonsense in here. I don't need that nonsense in here. The people that frequent my channel don't want to see that stuff. There's plenty of other pages that you can go hunt down and watch that stuff there. But the moment that you start making stuff personal, I'm gonna help you take a hike. I will save you. If what I'm saying is so upsetting to you, that you have to insult people, then I will save you the trouble from having to watch or listen to what I say. LSU may have a 4-win season. LSU did lose some talent, but I don't think they're going to have a 4-win season. I mean, I would say probably 9 or 10. Do I think – see, here's the thing. I think Bo Pelini, his first year there, is going to be made to look better than he is, and I think it's almost a Jake Fromm syndrome where the players around him make him look better, but he's not going to make any of them better. And I think the moment that talent's gone, it's going to fall apart. I'm going to tell you right now, I would love to see Coach O and Bo Pelini get into a yelling match in each other's face. There'd be a fisticuffs in Louisiana like you've never seen. Bo Pelini is very much a alpha personality. Coach O is definitely an alpha personality, and usually when you got two alpha personalities like that, it doesn't rub too well. Well, anyway, Bo Pelini's gonna have a heart. There were several times I watched him. I thought that man was gonna drop dead of a heart attack on the sideline. I promise you, I thought that. I couldn't, cause see, when we lived in Nebraska, we would go over to friends' houses and they'd have the football game on, and they'd all be watching it. We'd be barbecuing or drinking beer or whatever we were doing, and the game's on, and this guy would just get so freaking upset, dude. I was like, he's gonna die. All right, hold my beer. I'll catch you later, buddy. Well, guys, I don't want to take too much of your time. I got to get back to work. Believe it or not, I have a day job. So I appreciate you guys for jumping on. You guys have a great day. Where's the button at? Yeah, you guys have a great day. God bless. Go Dogs.